Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here tonight. I'm Whitney Ward. First up at this hour, a KREM 2 weather impact alert. Yes, it snowed for most of the day across the region, covering streets in snow and making for some slick driving conditions too.
So what does that mean for tonight and tomorrow morning? Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Good joining us now with what we need to know. Jeremy?
Well, I think the worst of it is behind us. Tonight, slushy, wet road is about the extent of it. Tomorrow, maybe a couple of slick spots, but with temperatures hovering pretty close to freezing, I don't think they're going to be overly widespread, especially with more moisture in the forecast. Because of our next storm moving in, I think we do a decent job of staying pretty mild overnight. A couple of stray snowflakes is it. Temperatures pretty close to freezing right now, and not just here in Spokane, but across the region. We are a degree or two away from it, if not right at that 32-degree mark. Tomorrow morning, we're a degree or two below it, depending on where you are. And I think that plays a big role in what we wind up seeing tomorrow morning. I think those main roads, the arterials, the highways, the interstates, anything that's well traveled is going to be good. Smooth sailing, maybe a little bit of wet roads, and that's it. You get onto those side streets where you still have snow tonight, I think very well you could be dealing with some slick spots early tomorrow morning, but that winds up the extent of it. Snow winding down rapidly. It moves out tonight, and we have more on the way tomorrow. A couple of light flurries in the morning, turns to widespread rain by tomorrow afternoon, and that rain comes with a giant bump in temperatures.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. We also saw a number of crashes and slide-offs today, including this one involving a snowplow. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said the driver of the car was just driving too fast when he lost control and ran into the snowplow.
It happened this morning on Sagebrush Flats Road near Ephrata. Both the driver and the driver of the car and the snowplow were hurt in the crash, but authorities say they are expected to recover. And that certainly was not the only crash out there on the roads today.
KREM 2's chief journalist Amanda Rowley has been out on the roads all day long. She's bringing us a live update tonight from the KREM 2 Storm Tracker. Amanda?
Well, Mark and Whitney, we decided to hop out of the storm tracker and give you a look at the highway. Traffic's looking not bad, and the roads are wet and bare. Now, tonight, Washington State Patrol is reporting a total of 6 collisions between 10 and 12. That number hasn't changed at all this evening so far across Spokane and Lincoln County. And I've been checking in with WSP since noon today, and they say we actually got pretty lucky with the timing of the snowfall today. Sergeant Greg Riddell says it didn't start to impact the Spokane area until 10 this morning, which is, of course, after the morning commute. He says even the 3 collisions that happened just before noon in Spokane were either minor or no injuries at all. Still, Sergeant Riddell says the trend with today's collisions is driving too fast for the road conditions.
The law says you have to be traveling at a safe speed at all times to avoid a collision due to weather conditions. And so we have to be driving a safe and prudent speed during those weather conditions.
Now, as for Spokane City streets, conditions have improved since this afternoon. Main roads are mostly wet with slush in some places, but still, you gotta watch out for those slick spots. On the side roads, though, it is thicker and slicker, so make sure to approach those neighborhood areas with caution. Now, just an hour ago, the city of Spokane tweeted, street crews have been out treating arterials, curves, and hills since this morning. It's asking drivers to slow down and drive for road conditions. Now, we are on the I-90 overpass at Arthur and 5th. Coming back out live here, you can see just the stark difference between the main roads here on city streets, just slush and wet roads. But again, out here on the highway, a bit more just wet and bare. So seeing a lot more traffic coming through the area for that evening commute. Traction looking pretty good this evening, so just make sure to take things slow. In Spokane, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. In some national news today, 3 people are dead in a school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin.
At least 6 other people have also been hospitalized with injuries ranging from minor to life-threatening. Authorities believe the shooter was a student at that private Christian school, and he is among the dead.
2 other people have died. That died were a teacher and a teenage student. 6 other people were injured. 2 students are now in critical condition in the hospital, and these injuries are considered life-threatening injuries.
No name, age, or gender of the shooter has been released yet. Abundant Life Christian School is a K-12 school with just under 400 students.
It is certainly not the news that WSU football fans wanted to hear today, but quarterback John Mateer officially entered the transfer portal this morning.
Sports reporter Caitlin Galloway is reporting from Pullman tonight.
We finally have an answer to the question on most Coug fans' minds after the transfer portal opened last week. Head coach Jake Dickert confirmed this morning John Mateer has played his last game in Pullman.
College football is in a different place than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, however we remember it. John will be the most sought-after player in the portal. I think he's going to be the best player in the country next year, and he informed us that he is, in fact, going to hit the portal.
Despite efforts by the university and outside contributors who put together a 7-figure deal to try to get him to stay, Mateer informed Dickert and his teammates Sunday night that he's grateful for the program, but will be moving on.
I'm disappointed. It's a tough result. Really thankful for Cougs everywhere that poured into everything that it took to try to keep him here. But at the end of the day, he wanted to play on a bigger stage, and I think that was the main cause of most of this.
The big thing is, they're your brothers, so, everyone's super close, and, at the end of the day, you always want the best for your friend, the best for your buddy. I'd imagine it's similar to, people in the workforce. When you talk to your coworkers and they're talking about potentially doing other things, it's you always want the best for them. You obviously want them to stay with you and, be friends, but at the end of the day, everyone does have to do what's best for them.
Mateer's exit is a huge blow for Washington State, but they're leaning on the guys they have left and gearing up to end their season on a high note in the upcoming Holiday Bowl.
This has been the most united locker room that I've been in through my 3 years here. Through all of our exit meetings, guys have really talked about that, and it's going to need to unite even more through this adversity.
Everyone knows we didn't go out the right way in Martin, and so this team really is carrying a chip on our shoulder that we got to send the seniors out the right way.
It's a hard line to walk in college football, being excited for what a team and a program can build while knowing it can all change drastically in a week's time.
You don't take the days for granted. You make every day count, and it's crazy because a lot of times you don't know what's going to happen. So you love the guy up next to you, and you try to come in with that hard hat mentality and bring your lunch pail. And tomorrow's not promised, and that's how it is. It could be an injury, it could be transfer, it could be something else, some sickness, and they're not there. So you just cherish the time you have with those guys.
As of right now, the Cougs are preparing for backup quarterback Zevi Eckhouse to start in the Holiday Bowl. From Pullman, Caitlin Galloway, KREM 2 Sports.
If you'd like to hear Coach Dickert's full comments, we have that entire press conference right now available to watch on KREM 2 Plus. KREM 2 Plus is free to download on ROKU, Fire TV, and Apple TV.